Alright, so we're back into another Fusion World video, and if you haven't seen the last two videos, I did red and as well as blue, and ranked pretty much all of the cards within those given colors. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it up with yellow and as well as green to knock it out, since next week is the release, so let's get right into it. So the first one that we should be talking about is, of course, the new yellow Vegeta, and we saw this pretty early on into the reveals, right? And I think it is going to be pretty good with all of the new, not very many, but the number of extra cards that we've seen as far as previews. And of course, we've had a couple other different previews as well. Oh, well, not previews, but cards in set one that we know of for extra cards. It's not going to be too bad, because that's really the whole point of this deck. It's Soul Striker, if those who have played Masters before, but in yellow. And as this as the I would say the game evolves and grows and we get more and more cards that are going to be able to use this ability, it's going to get better, right? I don't think it is amazing, so I think the best way to go about it is to understand that at the end of the turn while you're awakened, which this guy awakens, draw one, it's 4, you get to untap 2 of your energy to active mode. And the part of that we need to know are going to be the extra cards that you're going to be able to use for this. Now, that's going to kind of determine what you're going to be able to use and as well as take advantage for. So for instance, this the Supernova is still good to use. Like when you think about it, you can use Supernova on your turn pretty much at any point and get that energy back to use any of these other activate main or activate battle cards. So that kind of applies to any of the things that you'd be using. But the things that we're going to be focusing on is something like Death Ball, where you get 15k power for the battle, and as well as switch something 3 or less, which is very, very good in general. I've always liked the Death Ball. I've always kind of thrown it into any of my yellow decks as well. And I think this is not going to be any different for Vegeta, right? So 15k power and being able to switch down a 3 cost or less, which can attack or could affect blue decks, red decks, and as well as yellow decks, right? So in the mirror, it could be pretty good to have this at 4 and just have a pretty good time. Now, the other part of it is that I don't know if you're going to be using a Ginyu Force. I think this is like one of those things where if you want to have like a jinky deck or, you know, something to experiment with, Monza Ginyu with Vegeta might be pretty cool to use. I don't think it's going to be very much something to consider. This body change is interesting because, like, if you're playing, let's say, King Cold and like Frieza Army stuff and Vegeta, maybe you can use something like that to untap one of your battle cards during the activate battle, right? Pretty nifty, nothing too crazy, nothing too amazing. But where we do get the meat and potatoes are, or where the meat and potatoes are, is the set 2 stuff where activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, rest mode, a 6 or less, and then KO it, which is pretty dang good. A lot of yellow just doesn't have removal like that. So being able to have this at 2, it correlates with the Vegeta leader, being able to tap 2 and then untap 2. Activate battle, it gets 25k as well. Very good card in general, right? And it just is great with the Vegeta leader. Now, with that, activate battle. Opponent's turn, you get to choose one of your leaders or battle cards, and it gets 20k power for the battle. And then choose one of your opponents or your battle cards to switch to active mode. I think this card is cracked. I think this card is sick. It is like the perfect for Vegeta, right? I think if you're going to be playing Vegeta, it's definitely going to be awesome to play this card, and as well as in correlation with any of the blockers, any of the things that would like to be in active mode. And obviously it's kind of a different type of defense, right, where you're going to be protecting your leader, and then they can't swing into your battle card when it's in active mode. Or if you're going against yellow and the only thing they have is to rest something in rest mode, or KO something in rest mode type thing, right? Now, the other thing I didn't mention is that, like, stuff like this, and as well as this, and as well as literally anything else that will switch to active mode, like body change, is really good with 4 cost cooler, right? Like 4 cost cooler, again, it's probably going to be like a 3 or 4 of in this deck, because of the stuff that's going to be correlated with it. It's going to be an interesting control, like slower deck, and very annoying too. It's like it's very reminiscent of any other yellow deck we've seen in the previous Dragon Ball game. Activate main, choose all your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode, which is hilarious, right? It's just I don't know if you're gonna be playing this card. I think it's kind of mid, but it's a cool card to have, and the implications of it for the future playability of like future design cards is going to be pretty interesting, right? Like all the things that are going to be popping stuff in rest mode and things that you can pop with things in rest mode right now. It's interesting. Obviously, like if you're playing this as a one of, it'd be pretty interesting as well, where obviously any of the blockers that your opponents could be playing, like Cooler or something else, are going to be null and void because of this card. So I think it's mid, but it probably edges to playable depending on how the meta looks like. So knowing all that, right? Knowing all that, where do we put it? So I think Vegeta is a definitely playable card. I think this card is very playable because it is just the card that we do not have in yellow right now that has removal. I think this card is also cracked because it's just a sick, sweet card. I think this is mid, and that's all of the extra cards that we have. And I think this is kind of where I'm landing for, you know, all of Vegeta's kit, and as well as how I feel about him right now. All right, let's keep moving on before this is an hour. This is a blocker, 4 cost, obviously catering to Vegeta's stuff. 10k combo, which is nice, and then activate battle, you switch to active mode. So obviously this is playing on 4. You untap 2 with the Vegeta leader when you're awakened, and then you're able to pay 1 yellow or 1 energy to switch to active mode. I think it's a great card. I think it is also just a staple in Vegeta. I think that's an easily playable card. And I don't know if you'd be playing this like in any other yellow deck right now. Like Cooler can kind of use it, untap it 3 times, I guess. Frieza probably isn't using it. Yeah, I mean, Vegeta's just gonna be Vegeta, right? I think it's a great card though. And then in the turn, choose up to 1 of your rest mode cards and switch it active mode. I think this is an interesting card, but 5 costs is way too much. I think it is suboptimal for that reason. Master Roshi is a vanilla. I put all vanillas in mid. This is the same art almost. My God. 3 cost blocker. This is in rest mode. It gains 20k. That's an interesting card. I don't like it though. I'll probably put it here. It's a 10k combo power, and unless you can cheat it out, 3 costs is a lot. I guess the theory is that when you swing with it, it's in rest mode, but when it's in active mode, you don't really want to do anything with it. So 25k 3 costs. It's just, you have to swing with it. And it's still easily removed. I'm gonna put this in mid. Genyu, switch it as rest mode and switch or choose up to 2 your battle cards in Genyu Force and gain 5k for the power. So I think this is a pretty good card. Would I play it in Genyu? I think this is the only deck that you'd be playing it in, right? Yeah, I think that's the only deck you're going to be playing it in. I'm going to put this in mid, probably up here, just for this respect on Genyu. 1 cost blocker Cooler, 5k combo. You return this card to your hand and play 1 Cooler from your hand. Do you play this in Frieza? Like, I feel like you're doing more with 3 energy, right? Like you're expecting this to survive the entire time. I don't like that. I think I'm gonna put that in suboptimal. Krillin, 2 costs, 15k, 10k combo power. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards in 1 or less and switch to rest mode. I think that's a pretty mid card. I'm gonna give it 2 because it is a 2 cost 15k. If it was a 2 cost 20k, it would be a pretty playable card, to be honest. But only it's because it's 1 or less. Like I feel like this is good against obviously yellow and maybe green, because I talked about it before where green just has a lot of 1-drops right now, and it's probably not going to change going to the next set. And it's just going to take away that combo power. So I think this is decent. I will keep that in mid. This is also mid. It's a vanilla. 4 cost blocker. When blocking, you switch to active mode. That's pretty solid, actually. It's pretty solid. I think this is playable. 4 cost is just like that weird amount. Red can still remove this pretty easily. Like that 25k is just on the cusp of being removed. But like every other color outside of blue, like you play a 5 cost Vegeta, which is still going to be hefty for him. is still going to not be that great. And now yellow has the two cost counter card that can pop this, but being able to switch to active mode and all the other extra cards, I think it's going to be playable. This is a super combo, very playable. Enter 18. That's an interesting pose. On play and when attacking, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. I think it's a solid card. I wish it was a 2 cost, but I think it'd be broken if it was a 2 cost, right? Like maybe I'm optimistic if it was a 2 cost. Choose up to your opponent's battle card. Yeah, wow, 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 wow. I think it's playable. I think it's playable. I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. It's like an annoyance card, right? This is a vanilla Son Goku. If your opponent has 3 or more rest mode battle cards, this gains 5k power. I think it's a mid. I think it's a mid. I thought there was like something that combos with that, but I don't remember what it is, so I'm not gonna bother. On play when attacking, this is an SR Goku 25k 4 cost. Choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode cards and can't switch to active mode. Yeah, this is really good. Even though it's a 4 costs, it's a 10k combo. You got to realize 10k combo, 25k. Could have inched it out to 30, but I think on play and when attacking, being able to do that is pretty nuts, actually. I think this is a really good momentum card, right? Like it is just one of those cards that when you play it, you're going to have a lot of value in a lot of different situations. But the fact that it's a 10k combo power makes it very playable in my opinion. Okay, so on play, switch to one of your Trunks youth cards and switch to active mode to 2, which is going to be this one. Oh, okay, they just combo with each other. I think these are pretty mid. Anytime that you play any of these sort of cards that have to be correlated to each other, or like has to be on board or whatever, like it's not my favorite. So if there's like a searcher that makes it super consistent, great. It is a 2 cost 20k, which is awesome. The trade-off is the 5k combo power, but because you have to have them both on field, I'm just gonna go with mid. On play, choose to do one of your opponent or your, I keep saying that, your Piccolo battle cards with 3 and switch active, which is this guy, blocker, and choose up to one of your battle cards and switch to active. I don't know if this is like worth. It's like, I don't know, it just speaks to mid. Speaks to mid. 3 costs. Choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards and can't switch to active mode during your opponent's next turn. 3 for 25. It's always a good stat line. Like that's always really good. Would I include it in the deck? I don't know. Like all these like can't switch to active mode feel like super annoying and pretty good. So I'm just gonna go with that. Tia shit on. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 3 or less and switch to rest mode. So activate battle is kind of weird. It goes well with the Vegeta, obviously. 3 or less is cool. Death Ball is cool with this. Just because it's a 10k combo power, I'm just gonna give it to you on the tail end of playable. 1 cost blocker, pretty mid, but it has 10k combo power. If you played any Fusion World, you'll know why that's like a 1 cost blocker. That's 5k is not that great. Critical 3 costs 20k. If you have a Whis battle card, this gains 5k, which we have a few, right? I don't know if we have like cheap ones. I don't know if we have cheap ones. Whis, yeah, I don't think we have cheap ones. So I think that's a pretty mid card, right? Pretty mid card. Your turn. Just double check. Yeah, pretty mid card. It's all right. I mean, it's whatever. Your turn. Once per turn, when this card is switched to active mode by its skill, which is plenty of those ways you can do that. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, rest mode battle cards with 4 or less, and can't be switched to active. Pretty cool. Top end of mid. Yeah, top end of mid. 4 is still quite a lot. 10k combo power, 20k is not amazing. You can switch to active mode with a few different ways now that we've seen. 20k, 20k swings, and can't switch to active mode is pretty good. I don't know. I'll be controversial. I'll say it's playable. Look at the top 5, get a Whis. That's all right. Activate battle, switch to rest mode. Oh yeah, this is a pretty good card. Add 1 life to your hand, or up to 1. and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, etc., etc. Rest mode battle cards are 3. If you have one, you draw 1. It's a playable card. Very playable. I think it's a great card. It's a 1 cost. Like you can't say like, come on, it's a 1 cost. It's a 1 cost. Activate battle is kind of weird. Sure. There's a few ways you can restand it and protect it for the following turn. Yeah, that's it. If you have a rest mode Goku card, draw 1. What a weird card. Vegeta. Opponent's turn, all your rest mode battle cards can't be KO'd by the skills. Oh, I remember this one. All in play, add up to 1 life, then play 1 battle card, 1 or less from your hand. Obviously, it's going to be the Bulma, or really any other card. There's a lot of 1-cost cards in yellow. 4/25 blocker. Look at the top 3 of your deck, reveal it to 1. Frieza Clan, add to your hand, place at the bottom of the deck. I think it's pretty suboptimal, to be honest. 5k combo power, 25k 4k or 4 costs. We saw all these other ones that are like just too much more for you. It has to be KO'd, and it has to be a Frieza Clan, which, like, come on, do Frieza Clan or Army, just come on. And then Meta Cooler, blocker. That's it, I guess. Pretty suboptimal, to be honest. What is this card? Oh yeah, right. Your opponent, yeah. You should know that card already, man. All right, let's go to green. Okay, it's time to take a look at green. So I like aandroidd stuff. I like this leader. It's pretty decent. He's a draw 1, which is nice because a couple other leaders are like Zamasu doesn't draw, so it's nice to have that. And you have 5 or more energy, you add to 1, 3 or more from your draw up to your energy. It's an active mode, which is pretty cool. It's pretty easy to get to 5. You pretty much just go first if you need to. Use gigantic, or use Jiro on 4, and then if you have 5 or more energy, you can do that. So I think this is really like more of a Jiro-esque leader, but you can probably do the generic thing. Like I'm probably going to do that myself, where I'm going to be playing Jiro, do all the aandroidd stuff with this leader, see how optimal or suboptimal it is, and then move on to the generic stuff for 17/18, because that's kind of where I landed for set 1 for 17/18 anyway. So I quite like Cell. It's not like the greatest leader, but it is literally every turn after gigantic, you can or Jiro on 4, you can ramp, which is pretty sick because it's an active energy, right? So that's how I see it. You're basically just like 6, 8, 12, or 6, 8, 10, etc. Right? So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a solid leader. None of the leaders that we've seen out of set 2 are bad, in my opinion. All right, call me. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and 1 or less, or KO it. Pretty suboptimal if I take a guess. Corin. Karen. 1 cost, reduce the extra cards with Corin's tower of the special trait. It's so specific. We don't really see those. It's this one. So Senzu Bean is gonna be a green and 1. So green and 1, I guess. So I guess you play this for 1, and then 2, I'm guessing. So 1 and 2 for activate main. Does this say activate main? Kind of weird, actually. Unless this is saying this is just free. Activate battle. Someone could let me know, because I don't think it reduces the activate main cost, right? Because this is a ramp 5. You pay 5 to ramp. And this is assuming it's just green, which is the specified cost, plus the actual remaining costs, which means this is a free activate battle 5k. That's my guess. I think it's kind of mid, just because it's a 5k combo power, and it's just easily removed as a 1 cost. So I don't know. I don't think it's that great. This is cool. Pretty mid though, because it's the same thing I've been talking about before. On play, 2 for 20. Pretty good. Just 0 combo power. Makes it kind of whack. Android 18 or extra card. It's actually a really good card. I would say it's playable. I only argue this because it's gonna be any of the 18 costs. It's gonna be gigantic, like, and it's a 20k swing. Like, there's no world that you're not gonna be playing this for 2 at any given point, or having this in hand and not playing it for 2 at any given point, right? So when you're gonna be playing this for sure, and it's good as a replacement for the 1 cost, I forget the name, but the searcher for extra card. So I think this is sick. I think it's a second. Really good support for Dr. Giro and as well as just green in general. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give my man some respect. I'm gonna be playing that bad boy. So super combo, that's gonna be easy. 3 cost critical. Does this? Yeah, it plays off the 4 cost 4 cost Android 18. I think this is playable because of that. 25k critical is just really good when you think about it, because you're gonna be ramping and then you can be playing the 4 costs that plays this from the drop, because you want them in drop anyway, which hopefully we have cards to mill out our hand and cycle through our hand and put in our drop, but we'll see. And then you're going to be able to just keep playing these guys, or just have this guy as a 25k. Not only is hard to swing into it, but also to remove. Sure, 17, 18 in the mirror will pop it. Sure, red can reduce it and swing into it, whatever. But it's going to come back, right? It's going to be able to come back, and as well as it's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap for 3 cost critical 25k. It's just going to be such an annoyance for a lot of different decks. So for all of that, I'm gonna say it's playable. Here's another rare. You on play to place 2 cards from your energy to your drop, and you let leaders Android 17. You add 3 with Android in their names. Special traits in the drop. So the idea, by the way, is that you are ramping 1 on 4. I think that's what the idea is. Obviously, you can't play the cell leader, but the 17, 18 leader you can. And the idea again is that if you have energy that has androids in it already, you're gonna be able to play 4, drop those 2 androids, and then place 3. 2 of those are gonna be coming from the drop that you just placed, and then 1 more from there in active mode. So it's a 1 cost ramp 1 on 4. Say it with me. That's pretty good. So I'm gonna play this, put this in very playable, just simply because it's really good support for Android stuff and Android 17. I think this, I don't think it's like a perfect card, but like by no means, just don't put this, like very playable is like when you want to consider to put in your deck for sure, right? Playable is like, yeah, that's not too bad at all. If you have it in your deck, I don't fault you for it. Mid is, you know, you get the idea. But for me, it's not like a cracked, broken card. I just think it's pretty good and really good support. Android 18 and fucking the dildo guy is going to go into mid. Android 20, activate main, discard 1 card from your hand and then KO this. I don't know, it's just, why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep doing that, Android 20? Spider Robot's so funny, dude. I think it's a playable card just because we don't have any other cards like it. I think it's funny. It's not even a good card, but I'm going to put it in playable anyway. Place 1 Earthling. Special traits for your energy drop, and then gain 15k power for the turn. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know if it's worth being a 30k, right? Because like, sure, we're ramping. Sure, we're going to have a lot of cards and stuff. I think this is like this doesn't even get there for 3 or more. And Giro doesn't like it either. I don't think. Oh no, it's any android. So like, I don't know, Turles doesn't like it, Vegeta doesn't like it. So like there's only like the only thing that this is good for is Giro, right? So like Giro, you'll use Giro for 1 energy. You have to play Earthlings. I don't know. I think it's suboptimal. I don't think it's worth it. There's a cell. Here's another cell. On play, place 3 of your energy in a drop, and then KO 2 of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. Choose 2 of them and then add. Okay, yeah. I like this card. There's a lot of argument of like, why play this when you have Broly? Sure. You can play both. You can just play both. I think it's a playable card, not amazing. I mean, I don't know. I would say I think it's on the edge of very playable, right? Because like if Broly didn't exist, I would be like, yeah, this is a cracked card. But Broly does exist, and because it does exist and it has 45k, because it draws you a card, because it removes something, right? There's a lot of good things about that card. This guy, you're gonna be I mean, you're placing 3 for your drop, man. Like that's a lot. Sure, you get a 45k swing. Sure, you KO 2 things. Sure, you recover 1. But the 3 in your energy from your drop is kind of a lot. So like it's gonna be really good for this leader specifically, because you're really just placing 2 and getting 1 back. And you know, that can be a gigantic or something like that to take game. But I don't know. It's just, I think it's in between these. So, you know, argue with me in the comments if you want. Cell Jr. 2 costs 15k. If you have a sell battle card with any cost or more in the battle area, the one that we have, you can use and play this card with your hand without paying this cost. Add it to 1. This is actually a sick card. I like this. But there's only 1 8 costs. That's the issue. That's the issue. I think it's like right here. I think it's back there. 3 costs 15k. Activate main. Your leader card is a Gohan, which is of course the best green leader. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards 5 or less and add to your that's hilarious. I didn't even see this card. Add this card to your energy. That's also that's funny. That is super funny. I think it's a playable card. I think this is a super funny card. I don't even know what the like. I'm sure it's I'm sure it's like pretty mid to some people, but I think it's a super funny card. 5 or less hits quite a lot. Like it hits all the double strikers, right? Except for 17, 18, a couple others. But I think this is a funny card. I think it's a super funny card. Plus you get to use this as energy. And it's a 3 cost. 5k combo power. I would put it in super playable, but this is just playable. Place 1 card in your energy unit drop and add the top card in energy in your what? Oh, okay. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool card. It's a 2 cost 20k. So like I feel like it's unplayable because like you can now be kind of versatile. This also probably removes the 2 cost trunks, even though that is a 10k combo power. But this can swing at anything, and it's a 20k for 2. But I don't know. We'll have to kind of come back to that. You have a Goku in the drop, which obviously the one that we just saw is probably a really good candidate for that. You put it in rest mode and you use your leader ability, and then 5 costs Goku can get it back. Same thing for these guys, by the way. I didn't mention it, but these guys can do that. Just know that it's only going to replace 1 energy, not 2. This, if you have Goku in your drop, gains double strike. It's pretty good. Pretty good. It's not very hard to get to 6 too. I think it's a playable card. I don't know if it's going to replace something like 17, 18, but it has combo power, which is probably the one thing that people are going to be gravitating to for it. Permanent, all your battle cards with 3 costs or less can't be removed by your opponent's skills, which is pretty sick. It's only 3 though. It's kind of weird. Well, not really weird. It's for all the Trunks cards. Play 1 battle card, 3 or less from your hand. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with 3 or less and KO it. I think it's an awesome card. I think it's an awesome card because you get to play this. Where on play 5 or more energy, you add 1 from the top of the deck into the energy and rest mode, which obviously you're playing this for 5. You get this 1 back, you know, get an extra for your leader, for Gohan, all that. When your opponent or when your battle card, the 5 or more is removed, this gains 10k power. By your opponent. Okay. I don't know if it really correlates because it's cost of 3 and not 3 or less. So it doesn't really correlate with a lot of other cards. Like obviously the 17 is good. You know, you probably can pop this into sell because at this point you're gonna have 5 or more anyway. I don't know. I like it. These are cool cards. Super cool. Top 5 Goku or Son Gohan. Pretty damn playable, to be honest. Pretty damn playable because it searches up to pretty much all the stuff that you need in green. It's just gonna be like, I don't know if you'd be playing that or the Gohan for Saiyans, right? So maybe it's just another option to do that. And your turn, place 1 in your energy and drop. If you have a 5 cost Goku out, this is a sick card to have. I think it's cool. But I think it's pretty mid. You're gonna be paying 4 for it. It's kind of a lot. If you have 6 more energy, add up to 1 Broly. When you drop to your hand. I mean, that's pretty solid, right? Like, if you're gonna be using not gigantic. What's the word? The one that ramps 3. That's gonna bother me actually. That's gonna super bother me. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. Wait, where'd it go? Is it in? Hello? Oh, there it goes. Destructive Strength. I don't know why I couldn't think about that one. Using Destructive Strength, you ramp a Broly and you pop it with leader effect and you play this for 2. I think that's kind of what the idea is for this. So cool card. I don't know if it's super playable. I don't know if you're gonna be like, because there's so many good slots for green as it stands right now, and it kind of gets better in set 2. I don't think green has like that many better tools, but I don't know. I'm sure I'm arguing to the choir. But yeah, I think it's whatever. Pretty average card. On play, choose up to 1 of your combi cards. What? That's pretty mid. I mean, it's a 3 cost 25k. Okay, I will say that's pretty damn solid. But there's only a handful of economy cards. I think only this one and maybe another one. But it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Really, what are we doing? This is pretty good. I think this is playable. This is what I was saying before, right? Where like this leader specifically will probably need Bulma on field just most given times, because you're just going to need stuff into your drop, and you don't really want to use too much energy. So if you play this turn 1, 2, then it's going to be really good to kind of filter out any of the garbage that you have in hand in green anyway, and then place things that have 3 into the drop and be able to play those, right? Or use it as energy. So very playable card in my opinion, or just playable really. Whatever, we'll do it. Activate main. If your leader is a relic card, choose up to 1 of your battle cards and 1 of your opponent's battle cards. That's funny. That's pretty cool. So I mean, you could use this Bulma. You lose 10k power, combo power, but like if you're using like this guy or any of the other 0 costs or like whatever cards, you can do any. You can do any, but it's 7 cost, right? 7 cost seems like a lot. Pretty cool card though. Pretty sweet card. This is vanilla. Very cool. 2 costs. It looks funny. On play, if you have 6 or more energy, add up to 2 with 1 or less and Earthling and their special treats from your drop it add to your hand. It's an interesting card. I would have to look at all the targets to see if it's worth it. Like we have this, we have this, we have Corton's not an Earthling. That's funny. He's a cat. I'm sure we have other ones, right? I think we have also like Gohans and stuff, but I don't know. Not probably worth it to do that. I would probably put this in suboptimal, to be honest. If you have 6 or more energy, and this card is in rest mode, your opponent can only attack you. What are we doing? Awakening to perfect form. Activate main. Place 1 cell with 3 costs of 3. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. For 7, you get 1 reduced and you have to play a 3. Is this worth it? I don't think so, right? I think that's pretty suboptimal. Let's just pay it for 8. Whatever, dude. Like whatever. I will say, like, if you have a lot of these and you should just have the 8 cost, like you're already making yourself play a 0/0, right? And you're trying to play this guy that has no combo power and you're paying 7 for it. And you're like, I'm gonna get there. And I'm like, you don't get any other. You don't get any other benefits. Like if this was from drop, I would say maybe it's playable, right? But because you have to do it from your hand, it's a -2, and you automatically have to have 2 cards you can't combo with. No, I don't think that's good. Don't do it. If your leader is a cell, choose any of your number of your battle cards, Earthling, and add it to your energy. That's pretty sick. This is a sick card. Oh, I like it. I like it. I only say this because there are a good amount of Earthling cards, right? It's Gohan, Chi-Chi, Bulma, etc. Right? So I'm sure you can throw in vanillas if you really wanted to, you know, change it up a little bit. But like any number, that's awesome. It just basically replaces destructive force for you. Just a different way to do it. And the other part of it is that like on 4, you can still play Jerose and still go for it. But even then, you probably don't even need that. You have a cell. You can just keep ramping every turn for no reason. You just need to obviously have it in your hand. Oh, well, that's where the Bulma comes in. Or in your drop. That's where the Bulma comes in. Switch your rest mode. If your leader is a cell, look at the top of your deck. Add it to your hand. That's pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Would I play it? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's kind of like the top end of mid. This is a 4 cost, man. I think it's pretty sick though. I think it's pretty sick that you can add it to your hand. You know what? That's awesome. I'm gonna try it out. Senzu Bean's a 2 cost. It's free with the Korin card. It's a ramp card. If this was in yellow, it would be pretty cool. But I think Senzu Bean's kind of mid, to be honest. I don't know. Oh, it's your life. I don't know. I don't know why I said that. This was all right. Fine. I don't know why I thought this was a ramp card. Sorry. I have corrected. Timestamp it. All right. Earth Shattering Blow. Oh, wait. Earth Destroying Blow. 2 cost. Choose your leader or up to 1 of your battle cards. Gains 25k for the battle. It's a lot. You have a 6 or more energy. Look at the top card of your deck and add it to your hand and rest mode. Kind of similar. I actually think this is pretty mid. I mean, would I add it to the list or to my list? I don't know. But here's a list. Hopefully this last 40 minutes has been very informative for you. Not too many like don't do it cards. I think there's a lot of like cards that you can try out. It's just not going to be amazing. Do you agree with all of my choices? Am I too late for these reveals? Who knows? But next week we're going to have the full release, and it's going to be a fun time. Wait, 2 weeks from now. I have to check my calendar. Okay, yeah, it is next week. I don't know why pre-release. I feel like pre-release is supposed to be this week then. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.